Hello everyone, my name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. Today I wanted to do hopefully what will be a quicker video than usual and go over the one book I've read so far since my last update and my December TBR. I'm nervous to make a TBR because generally speaking, once I make a list I don't stick to it, but I have hopes that I'll actually finish this one this time. So first, before I get into the one I read last few days, I want to talk about this one again. This Will Only Hurt a Little by Phillips. I know I had said in my review that I think that we could be friends, and I don't think that's true anymore. I am very much the kind of person who, when meeting someone new in person or in book form, I tend to think that we are a lot alike automatically, and we think the same way about things. Not superficial stuff, but big things about life, that kind of stuff. So I am already in with whoever I meet and talk to. So reading her book, I liked who she was. I liked how she said it. I have seen some of her Instagram stories, not a lot, but I do like what I see there. And I like her character, Lori, that she played in Cougar Town, because I love Cougar Town. But I didn't know much about her other than that. And looking back the last couple of days, reflecting on her book, things she had said, jetting off to spend the weekend to fly home to LA from North Carolina when she was on Dawson's Creek, that kind of stuff I wouldn't do. I wouldn't just go visit a boyfriend randomly in London just because. She's very much a privileged white girl. I'm a white girl, but to quote Sophia in the Golden Girls, we was Poe. We still are. So I don't think we'd get along just fine. I think we would be good acquaintances. I don't think we would be friends though. So just wanted to throw that out there. So the one book I read, which it's highly illustrated, it's a graphic novel. Calling it a book seems disingenuous, but it's Awards for Good Boys by Shelby Lorman. This was cute. I enjoyed it. 2.5, 3 stars. This is based on her Instagram account about kind of how society tends to praise men, good boys, for doing the most basic human things. So it's satirical, sort of, but it's also accurate. I'm sure it would be more accurate if I was using dating apps and or in my 20s, but this was entertaining. I enjoyed it, made me chuckle a few times, but nothing to write home about. So on to my December TBR. This is half books that I am in the middle of and want to finish up before the year ends, and half books that I am so tired of looking at that I want to just read them and get them out of the way. So the books that I am in the middle of reading that I want to finish are The Edge of Impropriety by Pam Rosenthal. This is a standalone romance. It looks very slim, but it's 330 some pages. So it's one of those books with very fine paper. I like it. I like that the main characters are adults. They are in their 30s and 40s, which for the time period, I think this is Georgian? Unsure. Historical regardless, but so it's unusual, and they deal with sex frankly. It's filthy in a good way though, because they love each other. So anyway, so I'm halfway through this. I'd like to finish this up. Another romance-ish. I don't think this is erotica. I don't think it is. I don't know, but this is Take Me by Bella Andre. I heard about this one from the romance author Sarah McLean. She has on her website a list of, I think it started out as 100, but I think it just keeps growing as the more she reads, of books to recommend people where to start for romance. So it's a great resource for you guys if you want to read more about romance. I use that a lot to pull from for when I was starting to read romance myself. It's been mostly miss. I would say hit or miss evenly, but it's been mostly miss. But I'm still glad that I've read the ones that I have read, because it's helped me figure out what I do and don't like. This is one that's unfortunately more on the don't like pile. It's insta love, but not love. It's insta lust from childhood friends. It's the girl is best friends with the man's, or the love interest's twin brother, and there's some trauma thing, whatever, I don't know, but they end up sleeping together for the first time, like 20 pages in, and it's pretty hot and heavy. I'm halfway through. I just want to finish this. It's not bad writing, nothing about it, but I'm not super digging it. And for Nonfiction November, I'd like to sneak this in today so I can still count it towards Nonfiction November. Might not happen since I'm doing laundry all day, but we'll see. And that is The Red Virgin and the Vision of Utopia by Brian and Mary M. Talbot. This is, I think, more well known in France, learning about Louise Michel. Oh my gosh, why can't I focus? But this has been interesting. I'm just 30 pages in or so, but interesting to see the time period and what France was going through, and what Louise, she was really a remarkable person. So hoping to get to this one. I'm sure I'll finish this at some point, but it's not anything to write home about. And this is that Doctor Who official miscellany from 2012. So it's just all stats and who played who and what doctor did this and how the TARDIS has changed, and it's all little infographic dictionary stuff. I mean, like talking about the creation of unit. It's fine, but it's not, like a novel or anything. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This is a library copy. I sat down and read the first 60 pages in one clip. I was watching my neighbor's cat when they were out of town. I thought, oh, this is so good. I'm really into it. And then I haven't gotten back to it since then. I like it. I'm enjoying it. There's no reason why I haven't gotten back to it other than I'm just scatterbrained. But I do want to finish this one up so I don't have to renew it again. And so we'll see. So this is on my list. And then the last one that's in a physical book form. Again, this doesn't count any ebooks I have going because I don't have anything to show you guys because I haven't figured out that whole card thing yet, obviously. But I'm just counting physical books right now for my TBR. And that is The Summer Seaside Kitchen by Jenny Colgan. I love Jenny Colgan's stuff. It's not reinventing the wheel. It doesn't have to. It's just fun, British, sort of chick lit, though I'm not a fan of that term, but chick lit, if I say that, you know what I mean. So I'd like to finish this up. I'm really enjoying it, but I was saving reading it for when I could really be awake and enjoy it, and not when I was falling asleep at night or something. And then now it's just sort of sat here with this bookmark in, a quarter of the way through for a month or two. So time to finish that up. So those are the ones that I am in the middle of that want to finish before the end of the year. And then this stack are books that I am sick of looking at and quite frankly just need to read and move them on in some way, shape, or form. If I save them, fine. If I sell them, fine. If I give them to a friend, fine. Don't care. They just need to get out of my face because I'm just tired of them. So the first one is this, a big one, Wonderstruck by Brian Selznick. I bought this shortly after I read The Invention of Hugo Cabret. So probably 10 years ago. I mean, let's look at the publication date. But I have had this floating around my TBR piles around my living room, which I'll show you at some point, I think before the end of the year when I talk about reading goals and really honestly trying to publicly shame myself is what I'll be doing into reading some things here. Let's see. I cannot find the page with all the information. Anyways, Brian Selznick, beautiful stuff. I mean, he's such an amazing illustrator. That's not a good example. Here. I mean, come on. This is just gorgeous. I could just stare at this for minutes on end. But this has been knocking around for a long time. I want to read it. Next up are two romances that were impulse buys. I do that a lot. This one is Her Highland Fling by Jennifer McQuiston. Novella. I believe there are 2 or 3 shorter novellas, like pamphlets. I don't know what to call them at the end of this. So even this little thing is not the whole story. But I am kind of a sucker for anything Scottish, even if it is a slightly cheesy historical romance. So got it. Thought I could just knock it out in half an hour or something. Just haven't gotten to the point. On a related note, this is a little more I would be embarrassed to read this in public. I shouldn't be, because who cares? But I would be, because I'm awkward and embarrassed in public anyway. So this would just add on to my already like near crippling embarrassment of being seen by people. Good thing I have a YouTube channel. No one will see me there. That is Hard-Hearted Highlander by Julia London. This I bought just very randomly at a bookstore I went into with my friend Carolyn. We had lunch and saw there was a small bookstore across the street and thought, oh my gosh, we didn't know it was there. Let's go in. She's a book nerd too. So we go in there and it's like half magazines and porn and the other half all mass markets. And the person working at the desk was a woman I used to work with at the library. So I didn't want to just not buy something. I felt really bad not buying anything, even though I didn't want to buy anything. So I found the romance section. This looked like, yeah, I could enjoy this. And I think I will enjoy reading this. But, you know, again, it's been sitting in my TBR piles. It needs to move it. This one I picked up for Victober. Thought, finally, I will make myself read this book. And it didn't happen. That is A House to Let by Charles Dickens, which is Dickens and Wilkie Collins wrote the first and last chapter, and then other authors wrote individual chapters, same storyline. So Elizabeth Gaskell, Proctor, what is Proctor? Anne Proctor, is that right? Is that someone from Salem, Massachusetts? I don't know. Wilkie Collins wrote one on his own, and then Dickens again. It's such a little teeny thing, but this has been knocking around for years. Laura, read it. Two more I've only had since this year. I did the romance book bingo challenge this year to try and read more of what I own. And I found out about Robb and Carr because she was on a list of 2 authors of people. Why can't I talk? She's on a list of authors of people who are having their books adapted by Netflix into series. And I thought, oh, surely I can at least start reading this book, see what it's like, so I can see if I want to A, continue reading the series, or B, watch the TV adaptation, both, whatever. So that would be, which one is it? A Virgin River Christmas is the 4th in her Virgin River series. I don't think these have to be read in order, but it does help because the characters, there's the same core group from Virgin River in California, and then people come into town and stay and get married, and there must be something in the water. There are so many babies. Everyone has a friggin' baby in this book. So if you are struggling with conceiving or anything like that, I would say maybe pass this series for a while. I only know about the first 5 or 6 books. I think there are 20 some and she's still writing them. Don't quote me on that. So I'd like to read this 4th one anyways and get this off my list. I'm not going to have kids, so really. And then this is also by Robb and Carr. Can you tell I bought an ex-library book, Down by the River? This is the 3rd in the Grace Valley, California series. Just a trilogy, I should say, not a series. And this one she wrote before she wrote Virgin River. So characters that are in Virgin River show up here first. The main character in this trilogy is one of the doctors that's in the Virgin River series. So they are related. Need to read this 3rd one just to finish it. It'll take me not much time at all. They're very readable books. I enjoy them, but sick of looking at them. Next up is Rapture and Death by J.D. Robb. J.D. Robb / Nora Roberts. She is so prolific, it just astounds me. This is the 4th in the In-Death series. I'm reading them in order. I have them all on my shelves right now, including all the in-between books. I really enjoy this series. I just keep putting it off for no reason. So 4th one, need to get to it. This one was a freebie from Book of the Month Club, I think when I joined 2 years ago. This is The Grownup by Gillian Flynn. Not that you can read that from that far away. The Grownup, Gillian Flynn. Skinny little, calling it a novella seems maybe accurate. I don't know. Cool end papers. Regardless, should be a creepy little ghost story. Just need to read this thing. Sick of looking at it. And the last one is the 2nd in the Ivy Beasley series. This is a cozy mystery series by Ann Purser. I don't know. I think this main character, Ivy Beasley, shows up in the series previous to this one. My mom has read them both. I have not read the first one. But this is the 2nd book, The Measby Murder Enquiry. Ivy is a cantankerous older lady who lives in a sort of assisted living former grand home in a little town, and she and one of her friends and her niece and her niece's friend, I believe, developed their own little PI agency to help people in town. So it's kind of cute. I'm not loving it, but whatever, it is what it is. And I want to just read this one off my decks. So that is my slightly rambly December TBR, what I read this month, kind of a thing. Not what I read this month, but I read this week, the last few days. So yeah, hopefully I'll be back soon with another video. I need to do an end of the year tag, find that out, get that stuff ready to go. And I need to make more of an effort to actually read the rest of the weekend. I have so many library books, not to mention all these, like 15 I just showed you right now. I just need to get on to the reading part. Not worry about how the house looks, which it's never going to look great, Laura. Just get used to it by now. You think I'd be used to it? I'm not. Just sit down and read your books. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the ramble, and I hope you guys are all reading something wonderful, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.